good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, whatever the case may be for some of you. LeafsFan18 back with you once again, and this is going to be the start of something new on my channel, and I'll explain what that is in just a moment. But first, I have a Skype guest with me, and he's the dude with the sunglasses, Ben Mason Television.
Did you come up with that yourself?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Well, actually, I came with never mind. Thank you.
Makes you feel honored, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, anyways, Ben is joining me for the first episode of a new series on my channel called What's on My Mind?
Yeah, what is on your mind?
Well, you'll find out in a second. First, I'm going to explain how this series is going to work. Now, these videos, I don't know how often this series is going to pop up, but it will appear on my channel occasionally. And, whenever I do one of these videos, I'll essentially be talking about whatever happens to be on my mind for that particular day. Essentially, similar to David Downs' Downs Speaks channel. But, and just for the record, I'm not trying to rip David off in any way.
I know you're not. A lot of us come up with these ideas, and maybe I could too someday, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Anyways, and there are a few things that I have on my mind to discuss today, so what do you say we get started?
Let's do it.
Yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is something, well, a couple of things that annoy me. One is when certain YouTube users, I'm not going to point out who, but they know who they are, so when certain YouTube users feel the need in the comments of my videos to state the blatantly obvious. And case in point, in one of the segments that I did for my birthday special, my combined birthday special for Alex Cool and JohnMan418, the segment in particular I'm referring to is a game of Jeopardy on the Nintendo DS, which, Ben, I called upon for your help late in that game, if I recall correctly.
You did.
Yes. Now, in that game, I ended up finishing with $75,000. But this one YouTube user named Brandon Brickhouse, now, anyone who's seen that video, of course, knows that I won $75,000, so, which is fine, but they didn't comment on that, which is fine, but this Brandon Brickhouse person felt the need to state out in the comments that I had won the $75,000. Dude, if you had just, dude, that is perfectly obvious. You did not need to do that. Anyways, I have blocked that particular user.
You know something? I'm going to do that right now, too.
Yeah. And if this same user also tried to add me on Facebook, a request that I obviously denied, because knowing that guy's habits, he would likely do the same on my Facebook page, just like he had been doing in the comments section of my YouTube videos. Now, I am open for comments on my YouTube videos, but please, do not flood the comments section with things that are blatantly obvious.
To tell you the truth, I've pointed out the blatantly obvious a couple of times myself, but that's going back a few channels, of course. But right now, I'm a lot better than that. I'm good. I know what to talk about.
Yeah, I know you are, Ben. But some of these YouTube users, well, now, I'm not going to go into any more detail about that. Alright, next on the agenda is another thing that's been annoying me, and this has been going on for the last couple of weeks on Wheel. is I think there was a stretch over the last couple of weeks of like 5 out of 8 shows or something like that, where where in the prize puzzle round a contestant opts to solve the puzzle despite having no money accumulated in their bank. Like here's a case in point. There was one show not too long ago that aired not too long ago where the first 2 contestants lost control of the wheel because of because of a wrong letter call or because they hit a penalty or something, I don't know. So when it was finally the 3rd person's turn to play in that round, the only one that had not yet played in that round, that particular lady, instead of spinning at least once to try and get some money, decides instead to solve the puzzle, to solve that particular puzzle. Now that is something that annoys me. It's also annoyed Game Lover 1949, who of course we know as David Downs, and it's why he calls the show unwatchable.
You know, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, if they finish with less than $1,000, that's their house minimum, they get $1,000
Yeah.
to solve the puzzle.
Yeah. Now, luckily though, for me, as well as for David Downs, this particular lady lost that particular game because of that so-called strategy. If you just solve the prize puzzle without even spinning once, I'd hardly call that a strategy. And in fact, Ben, I actually do have an idea on a proposed rule change that the show should make.
Oh yeah, what is that, Mark?
Okay, it's during the prize puzzle round. Now, I don't know if this would apply for all rounds, but this would apply definitely for the prize puzzle round. Is if the turn gets to you and you know what the puzzle is, you should still have to spin at least once to try and rack up some money before attempting to solve.
Well, I don't see any problem with that, but hey, Wheel of Fortune is Wheel of Fortune. It's been America's game for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Actually, make that the last 38 years.
Yeah. Well, including daytime.
Daytime, of course.
Now, what I'm still waiting for is that one particular time where someone's going to decide to try and solve the puzzle when it's their turn to start the round, without even spinning once. In the 30 years of nighttime Wheel of Fortune, and all the years that the show was on in daytime, I don't think that has even happened once.
You know, to tell you the truth, several months ago I played Wheel of Fortune on the PlayStation, and I solved the puzzle right away without even spinning. I've done that a couple times.
And I would assume your guesses were correct right out of the gate.
Yes. For example, I solved the puzzle Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen, or whatever that puzzle was. It was artist song. Well, that's Wheel of Fortune on the PlayStation. I'm talking about the original version from '98.
Ah, I see. But to be honest, though, I've no-lettered a couple of puzzles myself on the Nintendo DS version. I think I may have no-lettered a puzzle one time on the Nintendo Wii as well.
I even solved a few puzzles. I even solved a puzzle on the Nintendo Wii Wheel of Fortune, but that's just because I knew the answers. I'll give you an example of a couple of them. One is Pat Sajak and Vanna White in the category proper name.
Yeah.
And another one I solved is vitamins A, B, C, and D in the category things.
And while we're on the subject of Wheel, one thing I've noticed, now, all of you know, I've got a nice run going of Wheel of Fortune for the Nintendo Wii U. 10 games that I filmed, 9 that I've posted. I'll probably post game 10 once this video goes up. But I have noticed something, though, in those Wii U playings of Wheel that I've done. Is that round 1 that I've noticed has always been a title, and round 2 has always been a living thing.
in random.
Yeah, but for some reason though, that only seems to occur with the Nintendo Wii U version. On all the other versions, video game versions of Wheel that I've done, the categories are randomized.
Randomized, I hear you. And I'll tell you one thing. When I did my Wheel of Fortune Nintendo Wii Summer Countdown last year, there was one episode, can't remember which one, in which the category "What are you doing?" popped up 3 or 4 times.
Oh yes, that infamous "What are you doing?"
None of your business.
A phrase made famous by our very own APizzle90.
And of course, Breezy Odd Station 87, aka Aubrey Scott.
Yeah.
Hello, Aubrey.
Yeah, formerly known as Game Show Phase Channel, formerly known as Aubrey S 1987, formerly known. Well, I'm not gonna go back through all his previous channels, but I think you get the idea of what I'm talking about.
He's been on YouTube as long as YouTube's been around itself.
Through various channels. Well, actually, Ben, not quite, because YouTube has been around since 2005, and Aubrey's first YouTube channel appeared a year later. Yeah, because I know my YouTube channel first appeared in 2006, but I didn't post videos on there regularly until a couple of years ago.
Happy anniversary. Well, not quite.
Yeah, it'll be 7 years this August.
Alright.
And I'm getting closer to 2,000 videos, by the way.
Oh, good job.
Yeah. And while we're on the subject of videos, Ben, I haven't seen any new ones on your channel in a little bit.
Well, it's just, that's the point. See, my SD card thing has screwed up again. And here's the thing. I'm moving into a new studio in the near future, and chances are I'm not going to be able to post new videos until I move into that new studio.
By new studio, do you mean a new house, or?
I'm living I'm getting my own basement.
Oh, nice. Alright. And I'm going to see if I can add Rodney to this.
Oh, of course.
Okay, there we go. Crap. He just went on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, well.
Well, we'll have to leave it alone then.
Anyway, come to think of it, I could have joined YouTube. I first came to YouTube in September 2011, and, I don't know. It's been a bumpy ride. I could have joined YouTube a lot sooner if I had given the opportunity. I don't even know what I was thinking, Mark.
Well, that's okay. The next thing I want to talk about is... Oh yes, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Let me guess. And I got big news, Mark. You probably know this already. Your Toronto Maple Leafs have made the playoffs for the first time in 9 years.
Yeah, I actually did know that.
Yeah.
And their opposition is the team that Martin S5 1989, of course, is going to be rooting for, the Boston Bruins.
Oh, great. They haven't met in the playoffs in, almost 40 years.
Actually, no. The Bruins have been in the playoffs the last few years in a row, but they won the Cup a couple years ago, which was their first since 72. Or 73, I don't remember.
Let me look it up. Wikipedia has it. 2013 Stanley Cup playoffs. Yeah, and believe it or not, all 6 of the original teams are in the playoffs this year. Montreal, Toronto, New York, Detroit, Chicago, and Boston.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the last time that happened was.
1996.
Oh. Right, well, I was only...
9 years old.
Actually, no, my birthday's in July, so I would have been 8 during the 96 playoffs.
Oh, our Avalanche, we lost Nordiques the year before.
And YouTube wasn't even around in 1996.
And neither was HD.
Nope. But my, how times have certainly changed.
Yes. It's all right here and it's alive.
Mm-hmm. Alright. And and now there's kind of one more thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
And that being my run of The Price is Right Decades on the Wii. Now, for those wondering, no, my run for that game is not over. I just haven't done any games of that in a while because, well, mainly because I've been busy with work, and plus I've been playing MLB 2K13 on the Xbox 360 a lot lately.
Oh, yeah. Let me guess. Your team was the Blue Jays.
Correctamundo.
You know what? Right now I'm playing MLB 2K11, but I got the volume turned down.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, oh, and it looks like, it looks like Rodney is, trying to add me to a call, which I will go over to, but that will be after I finish this video. And speaking of my work schedule, yeah, my work the last couple of weeks has been very busy, but luckily for me it's a little bit light this week, with nothing much of anything going on until Friday. So, that's certainly what you'd call a light schedule now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell ya. By the way, about Brandon Brickhouse, he's done this to the other band. He's even done this to Aubrey. He's pointing out the obvious, the plainly obvious.
And I think he's done that to Matt.
Oh, yeah, of course, too.
Which brings up actually the last point I want to talk about before I wrap up this episode.
Okay, go for it.
And of course, and I saved this one for very last. Those darn YouTube trolls.
Darn YouTube.
We all know how annoying those can be.
I know, I've gone through a few of them myself.
Yeah. And actually, Ben, if you recall, a little while back, if you recall, we did a game of Jeopardy on my side, off camera, on my board game, in which I came up with those darn YouTube trolls as the category for the final round.
Oh, Jeopardy.
Yeah, the, definitely one of the more interesting final Jeopardy categories I've come up with, huh?
Mm-hmm. Who is Gauntlet Fan 2007, a.k.a. Daniel Harper?
Yeah. You know, maybe the real show should get creative and use categories like that.
Those darn Etruscans.
Yeah. And speaking of Jeopardy, I do recall there was that episode of Cheers in 1991 where all the categories had to do with, like, mail or whatever.
Actually, the Cheers episode you were talking about, What is Cliff Clavin, that episode aired in 1990, not 1991.
Oh, well, I was close.
Anyway, I believe the categories were civil servants,
Sta-
from around the world, mothers and sons, beer,
bar trivia and celibacy.
bar trivia and celibacy, of course.
Yeah.
You know, those categories actually popped up on a real show 15 years later during the Ultimate Tournament of Champions.
Yeah. And then, of course, if you remember in that episode, Cliff went into Final Jeopardy with $22,000, but got the question wrong and bet everything.
22,000 big ones.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I remember, Cliff's response to that Final Jeopardy was, "Who are three people who have never been in my kitchen?"
You know something? That's also happened on the real show that contestants responded
Yeah.
like that.
Well, when that happened on the real show, I think Alex said something like, "Watching too much Cheers, eh?"
Yeah. Watching too much Cheers.
Yeah. Alright, well, anyways, on that note, that is going to wrap it up for this first episode, and I'd like to thank Ben for joining me for this.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah. And episode 2 will come in good time. Until then, have a good day.